Yeah.
It's weird because
Build projectionist is 1,000.
I'm
I'm
seeing
gonna refresh.
you're talking about on Blurb, right? Dalupus, here's your game. Don't know if you're here, so I'll take a look and see.
Yeah, they're 10,000. I just refreshed. At least they're all for me.
Okay, for things like Keck W, it's only a game, big brain time, that
Oh
sort of
yeah,
thing.
they're
Yeah.
10,000.
Okay, that's really weird because I set it up to be. Let me see, global settings. I set it to 1,000.
Well,
Let me do this. It says updated settings. So maybe try doing a refresh in a moment and see if it works. The Lupus is here, good. Stevie has left in search of food. He'll be back. I counted the zeros, Duckman. There's only 3. Like I said, it defaulted to 10,000, and I said that's way too much, so I tried making it something that was a little bit more manageable. Blake, thank you very much for the follow. So go ahead and hit refresh now and see if it shows, or, well, you'd have to refresh the stream, I suppose.
It's still showing 10,000 for me.
Alright. Yeah, because I can't see it on my stream laptop unless I log into
10,000.
it. Okay. Did you miss the Stevie giveaway? Nobody's getting Stevie. Sorry. Nobody. Why did this not save? Okay, let me try this. I'm going to change one of them. Oh. Take a look at take a look now and see if there's one that says 1001 because the background changed from a red and white stripe to solid red, and I'm wondering if that means it's working.
Bible Thump is 1,001, if that's what you're
Okay.
asking.
Yep. And Robloxian played it. Okay, there we go. Alright. I have to then go into each of these and save it, even though I went and told it globally. It's probably because when I added them, they were at the default of 10,000. Let's take a look at the game real quick. You've got a
Why
YOLO
is your
Emilio.
Venezia turning left when your guns are right? Like, you could have fired a full broadside salvo at that Apollo Emilio, but you fired 2 guns.
I think he was worried about the battleships that were spotted, the Azumo and the Iowa. I don't know that you would need to be so worried about them, but...
I mean...
You're at range, just start dodging. Or you can even smoke up if you're firing if you're that concerned. But you did literally the worst of both worlds, so now you wasted your smoke.
Venezia is a very tough ship to play. It's very easy to get yourself deleted.
So the proper way to do it, if you were really concerned about the battleship shells, turn to the right towards Emilio, immediately smoke up, and then shoot the Emilio. That way you're concealed, and Emilio's having a bad day.
Right.
Instead, now you have to shoot battleships, which is far less impactful.
All right. Looks like all of the blurbs that I've got set up are now running at 1,000 channel points. Sorry about that, guys. I wanted to give you guys something more fun to do than do the flex. So there you go, Rob.
What do you mean? Flex is already great.
Well, you know, some of these sounds are great depending on the time of the replay and what goes on. So, for example, Duckman didn't like that sound bit earlier, but I think it works well if you like fail at something and you just want to hear sad noises. Now, you're in a pretty strong spot now, at least, until the Asashio and Mogador move farther up. Paulo Emilio turned and ran away, so that's good. Duckman says my sound bit. I actually have one in there just for you, Duckman.
The problem with this move is now, unless you're planning to go over to A side, you're basically just taking yourself out of the fight.
The only thing that is good about this is you could go to B right now. That's the only thing that I can see productive. Anvil Steel, hello. How are you? Like, but you're stopping and reversing here, and I think you really should be considering going into the cap. And I just realized I never shrank my mini map down from this app chat. Sorry, guys.
You need to make it bigger.
Mhm.
It needs to be the entire
The
screen.
entire screen. Lol.
It needs to be like the Bat Cave. It just needs to take up like all 14, all 16, 200 screens, however he has.
There you go. You think you're
Also-
driving to Baltimore.
Also, yeah, this Venezia's positioning is like it was okay, but you have literally no one to shoot at except for Ibuki, and Ibuki's not even taking that much damage.
Yeah.
If you went over to the 10 line, you could have helped shoot these battleships as they go into the cap. But
Right.
now they're literally just exiting right, exiting left.
Right. Eggs and grits. Hey, this is a look ma no hands. We're doing a replay analysis, so this is all about backseat captaining in a sense. It's about giving some feedback and some things to think about in terms of your gameplay. You know, we try to highlight what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, other considerations, things to be thinking about, and the whole point of that is to help everybody really grow and improve in this game.
Yep. So
And that
yeah,
Missouri just got clobbered.
the main thing with the reason why
Whoa.
Zao started to stream is because he saw that a lot of players were just struggling to learn the game. So he's like, why not just send your replay and I can help you improve your gameplay.
Exactly.
So like
Anvil
3
Steel
years
gifted
later,
Bunny Zulu a
3 or 4 years
subscription.
later, we have
Anvil
this.
Steel gifted a tier 1 sub
Got
to
it.
Bunny Zulu.
And eggs and grits, no worries, dude. Feel free to ask. That's why we're here. We don't judge. We don't, you know, we do our best to stay away from toxicity.
Missouri.
This guy's way too scared in Venezia. He's literally smoking every time he's shooting, or anything anything looks at him.
And
like, Venezia's not that weak.
and
Use your HP. You have 4 heals.
did you just notice how he fired in his smoke, and because the smoke fire penalty is 9.9, the FDG saw him anyway. So that that shot there completely negated your smoke.
Yeah.
One of the most important values to learn as a Italian cruiser is your smoke firing penalty. For
Right.
Venezia, it's about 10 kilometers. When you have an enemy ship within that 10 kilometers, if you need to stay safe, you don't fire. Period. Like, you're still gonna kill the FDG, but this was an unnecessary use of smoke. Look at how much damage you've taken this entire match.
DCP, you're on 2 fires. No reason to not DCP.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. You should, like, as you're going up the Italian cruiser line, you should be memorizing the rough statistics of it.
Right. Anvil Steel, thank you very much for the gifted sub, by the way. That was really nice of you. Now, if you're ever not sure about the statistics, hold down the control key and mouse over your ship's hit points. It's going to pop up with a little bit here, and it's kind of cut off by Stevie's thing here. So let me see if I can...
You can press H as well. That will
Yeah,
bring
that's
it
what I
up.
was about to say.
Not for me. I've rebound my keys. So for me, it's
H is
control
the
and...
default key then.
Right, but H is the default. And then it says the 3rd line down after fire, or 4th line down after firing main guns in smoke 9.9 kilometer. So if you're ever not sure, you can look at this. Just keep in mind it's going to take you about 20 seconds to find the information because there's so much displayed here, and you're like, where the hell is it? So, but you can use that to figure out, you know, where you want to go, when it's safe and not safe to fire and smoke.
Yep, very, very useful info. So, if you forget certain values in a heated battle and you need to quickly memorize it without going back to port, that's it.
Yep.
And going back to battle, first, the 2 fires that were on you earlier, you could have DCP'd it, so I don't understand why you just let it go.
100%. Could also be healing right now.
Second, again, you're way too far. Like, what are you running from?
At this point,
That...
your biggest threats are the Azumo and the Amagi.
If you were closer, that Paulo Emilio could not engage the Asashio without getting blapped by your SAP.
Yep. quite frankly, I'm amazed that the Apollo got away or didn't kill the Sashio.
He's probably thinking I'm a torp boat too. I only have torps.
Hmm. That's unfortunate because this SAP does dirty things to that Sashio.
Mm-hmm. He did smoke up. I guess you did shoot at him, which forced him to use his smoke.
Hmm.
But I don't think he did much damage to him regardless.
I think he bounced. Actually, I think he managed to bounce somehow. Also, the spider plane is. If you had the spider plane, you could probably shot the CV a little bit there.
No point in shooting the CV. If you can't 100-0 to CV, or kill it before he goes dark, there's no point.
Yeah, a Buki would be a good target right here now. It's in your range, and you have a shot on it, and your reload is up.
Hollow is okay since he's at low HP. It's kind of optimistic though, and you don't want to salvo fire like that.
I was just going to say that I'd hold the mouse cursor at the very least and up and around. But that being said, you got him, so hey.
Yep. When you only need one hit to kill the ship, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
And that's something I've been trying to work on, but I've been failing at miserably. Because habits are hard to kill.
It comes in extremely helpful in a competitive environment, clan battles, King of the Sea, etc. Because what happens is with the destroyer or whatever target it is that you're shooting at can't start making their normal maneuvers. I mean, they can try, but you're compensating for their movement as you're firing. So as a result, instead of dodging an entire salvo, they're maybe dodging the first initial couple hits, and then they're going to take 1 or 2 hits afterwards. Mm-hmm. So that's what distinguishes differentiates a really good competitive player from an average competitive player, is that they're able to give an enemy no solution to survive, essentially.
Yep, it's something you will have to learn by force when you start facing French destroyers.
Yep.
Because if you try to constantly salvo fire against them, you are not going to hit anything. You're going to just throw your keyboard against a wall as they burn you to death.
Now, you switch to AP. The Des Moines died. Now, assuming you've got Sansonetti, even if you don't have Sansonetti, which you should, you should still have Expert Loader.
I didn't see anything pop up when he got back.
I didn't either. That's a good point.
So he doesn't have Sansonetti.
Right.
Don't look at Ibuki. You don't care about Ibuki. You care about the buffalo that's ahead of you.
That's correct. So...
And that's angled, so he's probably gonna bounce. Those are probably gonna bounce.
And that's what
buffalo. That's radar. That's the third smoke wasted.
And so that's what I was trying to get at with
final
your
smoke wasted, actually.
With your ammo choice. That's what I was trying to get at was you should have Expert Loader or whatever they call it in now, because in this ship especially, your ammo choice is so important. Your default gonna run SAP, but you need to be able to switch to AP in a pinch. So that's why I said you should be running Sansonetti. Yes.
Yeah, since Sansonetti is an excellent fit for the Italian cruisers line, because with that enhanced gun feeder, you can switch in 75% of the time instead of 50. So if you see a broadside ship, 5 seconds later, you fire AP at him.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, why is he... Again, it feels like it sounds like he's playing Minotaur, like with how scared he is.
Well, so... And Dalupus, please feel free to share in chat. Let us know your thinking behind some of these things. But generally speaking, the way he's playing makes me feel that A, he's newer to the ship, which is fine, we've all been there. And 2, he's been smacked so many times in this ship that he's been trained to play more cautiously through the Brindisi, through the whatever the 8's called. You know what I'm talking about, like, and maybe those are bad habits that he's picked up by grinding the line or just playing this ship. Nothing to fault with that, of course. Dalupus says that's the commander you can't buy. You can buy him. You have to buy containers with coal in the armory. What do they call it? Regina Marina containers or something like that. And then once you complete the Sansonetti collection, you get him. So it's a series of coal that you have to spend for these containers, but you can get them in the armory.
Like, you need to be a lot more aggressive in Venezia. Like, with the playstyle I've been seeing you do, it's like, am I seeing a Neptune replay or something? Because look at your health. You're at full HP. In fact, the enemies barely even shot you this game.
Yep.
Um, the s- all three smokes were essentially wasted because no one was looking at you. The first one, no one was looking at you. The second one, you basically shot, so you shot too close to the FDG, so it was
Yep.
worthless. Third, no one was looking at you, and you got radared anyways.
Right.
Like, you didn't even need to smoke. You could have just W'd at the Buffalo, and nothing happened, and
Right.
you would get more damage that way.
Right.
And you would have kept that Buffalo spotted for your team as well.
Yep. All right, so real quick, I just want to catch up with chat. Fishrock is saying, can we get a quick rundown on the basics of SAP for those of us who have fallen out of familiarity with the game lately, please? Yes, Fishrock, absolutely. SAP is like HE in that when it hits something, it'll penetrate. It doesn't have to punch through something to penetrate like AP does. So it's like HE in that regard. However, it will not set a fire. And its penetration is typically higher. For example, the Venezia penetrates, what is it, 50 millimeters armor?
53.
53, thank you. I knew it was a little bit more than 50, but the magic number is 50, right, for penetration. So the thing about SAP is because it does full penetrations with those shell hits against enemies that are either lightly armored or don't have a lot of damage, if you whack them, they take massive damage. Like if you hit them in the superstructure for like German battleships, German cruisers, tons of damage. If you shoot at a destroyer, a light cruiser, in convoy mode, the transports in Narai, whatever, massive damage again. But against a target that's got thick armor, more than 50 millimeters armor, so like a battleship or even a cruiser that's broadside to you, if you hit the armor plating, that shell will just shatter and it won't do any fire damage. So, generally speaking, you're going to fire SAP on anything that's long range, anything that's lightly armored, anything that's got a superstructure that's not black. In other words, it hasn't lost its thank you. It hasn't been saturated. It hasn't lost most of its HP already. For everything else, it's AP. So AP is that specialist ammo that you're only going to use against like a broadside cruiser that pops out in front of you or something along those lines. Did I miss anything there?
So, the best way to put it, if you've used a Minotaur, the Royal Navy light cruiser AP, it's actually pretty similar in a lot of senses, except the difference is that penetration is fixed to a certain number. And your auto bounce angles are, I think, slightly better. But otherwise, the best way to, if you need a reference point, just use the Royal Navy light cruiser AP as a starting point.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's what SAP does. And then